You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Our guest today, Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano. Sir, I'm going to ask you a very basic question, and I really want to get your honest thought on this. Are you satisfied with the government's response on COVID-19?
We can do more. I think even the president is not satisfied, diba? Meaning, it is what it is, but there's definitely much more than we can do. And one thing that really keeps me up late at night, and Pinky, is we're still reacting, diba? And yung day-to-day pa. But what about next month? What about 6 months from now? What if 2 years from it, no? So I do think that all the departments are working very hard. Walang natutulog sa pansitan, ika nga, even Congress. But I do think that there's so much more that can be done. I was on the phone with Mayor Isko yesterday. We were exchanging notes kasi I was talking to my brother naman, Mayor Lino. There's so much more cooperation, halimbawa, between the national and local government that can help solve some of the problems, no? And I'll have a conference with my counterparts in the ASEAN, and I'll also bring that up, that as a community, because sabay-sabay tayong tinamaan, we're taking care of ourselves.
Okay. Is there a plan, sir, at the House of Representatives to possibly look into or investigate how the billions of money was spent for COVID-19, sir? Are there questionable items or issues here for you?
So far, no questionable items, but we still lack information. But I think we agreed that there are 2 venues to do that. One is in the Bayanihan 2, because every time you ask for more money, then you will look into paano ginastos yung dati. And then number 2, we're going to go into the budget hearings in the first week of August kung masubmit yung budget. So kasama na dito yung absorption. So right now, we're relying on 2 things.
Okay.
The weekly report of the president at nandun. And number 2, yung official and unofficial lines with DBM, like their website, and yung mga queries to look where it was spent.
The stimulus package, Speaker, let's talk about that. Something that is very important. Magkano ho ba ang pinopropose ng House? Because from last, sir, that I know, wasn't it about 1.5 trillion, di ho ba? Kaya medyo that did not sit too well with Secretary Dominguez, sir. But a while ago, I heard you say a different number.
Meron ng agreement ng 140 billion immediately, and about a third of half of this will go to banks that will help loan with small and medium and micro businesses, no? But ang House went up to more than 1 trillion pesos, and I admired Chairperson Joey Salceda, Stella Kimbo, and also Sharon Garin. They really worked hard with this together with Juni Cuwa sa banks naman, no? Ang problema nga, Pinky, di ba, si Sec Sani has also steered our finances and our economy very well as head of the economic team the last 4 years. And he's looking at yung mga karango natin, di ba? Kasi the bigger countries, UK, Spain, US, kaliwat kanan na ang pangungutang eh. So Sec Sani doesn't want us to be responsible. So doon kami nag-uusap na saan yung line between being irresponsible and being too conservative. So we agreed on a 3-step, no? First step is the Bayanihan 2 that we're still negotiating na it goes up to about 200B. Second step is the 2021 budget. And third step is actually the separate stimulus.
Okay, so ang pinag-usapan po natin, Speaker, to be very clear about this, are 3 things. The Bayanihan 2, ang sabi nyo, we're looking at about 200 billion pesos here. Of course, the 2021 budgets are very important because we are expecting to address this problem up until next year. And then meron pong separate stimulus package.
Yes,
Let me just go to that separate
dalawa,
stimulus package.
At saka
How
yung
much
cures.
is this, sir?
So far, Pinky, we have 2 stimulus bills.
So magkano po ito?
Yung Arise, I think the final was towards 1 trillion pesos. Then yung Cures, which is an infrastructure development, is a little bit over a trillion, pero 3 to 5 years yon, hindi 1 year spending. So yung Arise, kung tawagin namin, it's multifaceted and it's, I think, a little bit over a trillion. No? But remember, Pinky, House version pa lang yan eh. So pagdating sa Senate and when we meet with the executive, mahihimay pa yan. It
By
can go
cam.
up, it can go down. But the point is, we're talking with the Department of Finance and DBM and we're working on it. No? So I hope we'll be able to find an equilibrium.
All right.
So if we all agree that 150 muna or 200 muna sa Bayanihan 2, then we all agree ano ang limit ng 2021. Then how do we put dun sa 5 years kasi na coming, I think very important, agriculture, tourism, and manufacturing magkapera talaga.
Apart from that, Speaker, what would be the top priority? At least just give me 3 at the House of Representatives, sir.
Well, overlapping lives and livelihood. So anything that has to do with saving lives, lalo sa health, and yung livelihood ng tao. So although marami tayong, yung budget of course will take over and it will, what will happen when you talk about the budget, you'll be talking about everything else, no? But I think really yung testing, yung capability ng hospital, upgrading our health centers will be a priority. Then yung livelihood, no? So when you talk about event organizers, massage therapists, small business owners, OFWs who lost their job who are here now, the bills that will occupy all of this. That's why I believe there are 3 industries na hindi pa natin natatap ng husto. Yung sports, arts and culture, at saka yung halal food. No, $1 billion to, hundreds of billions of dollars yung in each of this industry.
And very evident, sir, you did not talk about Cha-Cha as a priority when Congress opens, sir, in July.
That's a very good question, Pinky, and it's right for people to question the timing. Sabi ko nga, I don't, but may hypocrisy din kasi. Minsan, the same people who are saying, wag mag-Cha-Cha, and ako I agree kasi paano ka mag-plebiscito, they want a people's initiative on ABS. Ang people's initiative, kailangan mo pa rin ng plebiscito. So during COVID, pipilahin mo mga tao, pabobotohin mo, and ang plebiscite has a campaign, no? So you're gonna have open rallies with a lot of people. So definitely anything controversial, kung mapag-uusapan pero hindi muna front and center, it's better for us. But for example, Pinky, di ba, the federalism, meron economic federalism that you don't have to change the constitution, which is to review the local government code and to take a second look at yung ERA distribution and incentives to third, fourth, fifth class municipalities. So we're going to do that as a parallel effort sa CONCON, sa Cha-Cha. So if ma-solve next month yung COVID and we're up on our feet next January, February, then we can talk about Cha-Cha.
But you also said, no, Speaker, that term limits actually, kasi pag pinag-uusapan po yung Cha-Cha, na pag-uusapan yung term limits. So yung term limits, ang sinabi nyo naman, actually create political dynasties. And sir, let me just add this before you react. When you look at social media, which I'm sure you do and your team as well, when you mentioned this, sir, lumabas po yung litrato ng Cayetano family na nandun po kayo, ang inyong asawa, ang inyong kapatid, at dalawang kapatid, sir, na lumabas po yon when pinag-uusapan po yung political dynasties. Please react to this, sir.
Yes. First, Pinky, I spoke after lumabas yon. Pero hindi naman kasi lumabas din yung picture ng lahat ng Aquinos na naging politiko sabay-sabay, di ba? Even when President Aquino was president, he's the second President Aquino, Bam Aquino was his first cousin, pinatakbo niyang senador kahit na green apple pa siya at the time. Don't get me wrong, he's very capable, he did a lot when he was senator, but the reason na sinama siya is dahil pinsan siya, dahil Aquino at kamukha niya si Ninoy. No? There are many other Aquinos who are doing well. I love Butch Aquino. He was one of the people I really admired even when I was not pro-Cory. So, ang problema sa argument sa Pilipinas, maraming hypocrisy. And I keep saying naman, Pinky, no one naman is innocent. That's why we have to change the system. So, ang sinasabi ko lang naman, sooner or later, and I hope it's in my lifetime, it doesn't have to be now, it can be when I'm retired, mapalitan yung term limits and then 3 years lang.
I understand, sir. I read that. Sabi niyo kasi, i-extend ang term limit pero 3 years lang. Yun po yung narinig kong sinabi niyo. Or did you mean
No.
3 terms lang?
Yes. If you remember during the speakership fight, and some of the senators disagreed. Ang sabi ko, either we have 3 terms na 5 years each or 4 years na walang term limits. What I'm saying is if you look at history, there's always been some small dynasties somewhere. But ang mas importante, free ang lahat ng tao to choose. So when we came here in Taguig, there was a Tinga dynasty, di ba? And when sabay kami, ako congressman, siya mayor, it was unproductive. But it was the term limits that caused, if you look, it was the fear of all things that were Marcos, no, hindi na pag-isipan ng very well yung unintended consequences. So when you put 3 years and you put a term limit, nagkaroon talaga ng mas maraming dynasty. So I'm not saying that changing the constitution alone and changing the term limits will solve that. But what I was saying din naman, Pinky, is lumabas lahat ng picture na yon when I started discussing the oligarchy. Kasi buong mundo, wala naman good oligarchs eh. Walang good oligarch system. There are good people in the oligarchy, pero there is no good oligarchic system. It's always anti-people. But there are good dynasties all over the world, as well as there are bad dynasties. So it's not an apples to apples argument kasi you're arguing with me na intrinsically evil ang dynasties, which is not.
Political dynasty, sir?
Yeah, there are good and bad people in dynasties, di ba?
Speaker, one last question, sir.
Sure.
Are you ready, Speaker, to hand over the speakership to Congressman Lord Alan Velasco sa October? Mangyayari ho ba ito?
Yes, end of October or start of November yung 15 months ko. I'll go back to your question kanina. Am I satisfied? I'm still not satisfied with what I've done and what we can do. But yun ang beauty na meron ka rin date na tinitignan. So since tinitignan namin yung date na yan, I'll do everything I can to produce more results for our people. Unfortunately nga, maraming controversial na bumaksak sa first 15 months, including the franchise and including the anti-terror law. But fortunately, marami din talagang incredible na ginawa, no? Especially the hard work and almost 300%, no, more productive than other congresses. So the House will be ready, Pinky, and
Alright.
The members naman are resilient regardless kung sino ang speaker.
Pero ibig ko sabihin, sir, sigurado na po ito by the end of October or early November. This is a sure thing.
Well, it's I haven't seen anything that will make a change. Basta ang akin, ang commitment ko kay Presidente sa administration niya, and of course to first and foremost to God and our people. So I've told the President, you're the head of the coalition, you will decide this. So ang commitment ko sa kanya, hindi ko namang commitment kay Martin or kay Lord or to whoever else, no. But wala namang kaming pinag-uusapan differently. We're just quietly working hard and then preparing for that. Ang akin lang, the same thing I told Congressman Velasco at the start, ayusin na natin lahat ng chairmanship kasi kung buong Congress ang magbabago, wala pang ang COVID nun, maapektuhan talaga. Pero kung ako lang naman papalitan, I think naman the House can be as productive pa rin or maybe even more productive depende sa mga members ng House at support nila sa Speaker.
Pero kung humingi po ako sa inyo ng tapat na sagot, do you wish ma-extend pa po yung inyong term as Speaker?
Madami akong wish eh. I can wish to be Speaker for 9 years but that's not within my control. I wish that in October I'm not turning 50, Pinky. I wish I was turning 35, no? So, of course, public servants would always want a platform, and the speakership is a good platform to be able to show what you can do and also to actually get things done. No? So, hindi naman ako hypocrite to say that, I don't embrace and appreciate the opportunity to do this. No? And if I had an opportunity to do it again, diba, whether as Senate President or even as mayor of Taguig, di ba? That's also one of my dreams na never ko pang nagagawa. Kaya lang, mas magaling na implementer si Lino at si Lani. So, hindi na ako nakipagkompetensya sa kanila.
All right. Thank you, House Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano. Mag-ingat po kayo, sir.
Thank you din sa CNN Philippines. Please keep safe, everyone, and continue informing the people. God bless you, Pinky. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, and thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Pinky Webb. You're watching CNN Philippines.